Hello and welcome to this episode of I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, where I'm going to talk about taking a look at yourself in the mirror.
So the big question is this: how are parents like us, who don't have a manual, who are doing the best we can, who feel as though we aren't enough, how are we going to raise healthy, happy children who we are proud of and still keep our sanity in that process? That's the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Ryan Roy, and welcome to I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, a podcast for parents who are being real with themselves.
Hello and welcome back to this episode of I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, where today I'm going to be talking about you taking a look at yourself in the mirror. What is it that you see? See, during these last several weeks, the last couple months actually, we've been going through some uniqueness in our lives. Most people on this planet haven't lived through a pandemic before. And just today, my son said to me, he's like, "Dad, you know, is this pandemic thing kind of coming to an end?" I said, "I don't know if it's coming to an end, but things are getting better and things are getting back slowly to some normalcy. It's not going to happen overnight." And he goes, "You know what's so cool about this?" And I was like, "Cool." He goes, "I get to say I lived through a pandemic." And I think part of that conversation stems from the fact that, you know, I had told him just recently, as he, you know, kids listen, they hear everything. The news is on in our house. We have conversations, but I've told him he has nothing to worry about. And maybe just randomly, I said to him, I said, "Listen, just so you know, Mom and Dad are extremely healthy. You and your brother are healthy. Even if we were to get this COVID-19 thing, and that's a big if, we're probably going to heal from it, and we'll be okay. We'll just be sick. You've been sick before. I've been sick before, and we've always gotten better. So just know that it's not really going to affect our family." And I think that eased some thoughts of his, and I don't know that I had put it that way at any point. But over the last 2 months, many of you parents have become teachers. Many of us parents, right? Not only you, but me too. Many of us parents have now learned to work from home. Many of us have learned to forego some of our luxury items, if you would, in the sense of we don't have gyms to go to. It's our garage or our basement. We're not going out to restaurants as much. We're cooking at home. We are not entertaining the kids outside the home with movie tickets or ice skating or roller skating or laser tag or an arcade or whatever that looks like for you and your family, a jumping gym. We're at home getting creative and doing weird science projects or watching movies that are educational and sharing those experiences. Like, we're having to change up what we've done for so long because we've had a lot of, for lack of a better term, distractions. So I was talking to a good friend of mine today, and in that conversation, she was just fascinated. We don't always talk, but when we do, she's a coach also. She always asks great questions. She's like, "What are you learning most about yourself in this pandemic?" And I don't know that it's so much I've learned about myself, but a lot that I've learned about others and how I relate to others. And the way I've watched people close to me and people far from me. I am a people watcher. And the thing I'm grateful for is, for me personally, how I've designed my life. I've been working from home for 6 years now, maybe going on 7 years. I don't indulge in a lot of tangible things that are unimportant. I do focus on my kids and my family and community. So my life, in the grand scheme of things, if you're looking at a 30,000 foot view, hasn't changed much. And I think that's probably what I appreciate most, where for a lot of people, and this is where I'm asking you to look in the mirror, how uncomfortable has this change been in your life? As you take a look back at the last 8 weeks, 9 weeks, depending on when this thing drops, how do you see yourself at the beginning of this? And what changes in a positive way have you seen? And what would you like to see moving forward? So as a parent, if you are frustrated and angry, possibly, and the only reason I say this, because there were reports of that in my own household, and a lot of parents I know have shared the same sentiment around teaching your kids. If you're frustrated and angry in that, what lessons are we teaching our kids, right? If we're getting frustrated at their homework, what do you think they're going to do when they're getting frustrated? When we're confined to small spaces and can't go out, do we go inward and get creative and play card games or board games and laugh and tell jokes? In just this last week or two, as a family, we've been playing a lot more Wii bowling and Wii baseball and Wii tennis, and we've had a lot of joy in that. And it's like, my son loves playing video games, and when he gets to play with all of us, and we're all, just having a good time laughing almost every evening for the last week. That's something we've done, even if it's only for 10 or 15 minutes. And it's been enjoyable. What is it as a parent? Look, I don't know jack about parenting. I definitely don't know jack about massive change in the world and how that's going to affect my family. What I'm asking you, and this is kind of your homework, what did you notice about yourself at the beginning of this that you did not like? What have you learned to start appreciating more? Like time at home, lack of time in the commute. I know some people I have met where their companies are saying, listen, we're going 100% working at home. What are you going to do with those extra 2 hours if you have an hour commute, 1 to and 1 from? What would you like to be a mainstay that has changed? And if that's sitting around the dinner table with your family, because you've been able to do that during this, or having dedicated 20, 30 minutes times with your kids as parents. And if you have multiple kids, how do we create that space for each individual kid? What do you want to see stay as a parent? What are you going to do with the extra time? Or will you create more time because you are able to appreciate it? Probably the first 2 weeks, you're like, oh, this is great. It's like a vacation. And then realized it was work. And now some people just want to get back to work and get out. But what are those things you may miss that you had? And honestly, if you're like, I'm not going to miss anything, have you reflected enough on this time to recognize a change? Because there's been a lot of change. And if you're just willing to get right back to where it was, I ask you to look in the mirror and say, am I being self-reflective enough? Because I don't know about you, I don't know jack about parenting. And because I don't know jack, I strive to want to be better. We'll see you in the next episode.
Do you want to be the dad you wish you had? If so, go get my free book, Be the Dad You Wish You Had, at BeTheDadYouWishYouHad.com. Inside, you'll find my most effective 40 tips to quickly and easily transform yourself into the ideal dad. Go to BeTheDadYouWishYouHad.com now and get it while it's free.